Two Apache attack helicopters, worth about $30 million each, operated by the United States Army, flew at a low altitude over a Nashville mansion, while a 55-year-old man from Detroit in a trucker hat stands next to a Statue of Liberty replica right by a swimming pool and salutes them. I wish I were kidding. And it all happened on the exact same day as the massive No Kings rally in Nashville, which had thousands of people peacefully protesting the actual authoritarian direction of this country. The helicopters, they were there presumably to fly over both. And for the record, we are talking about AH-64 Apache attack helicopters. These are the Army's primary close air support combat aircraft, the ones used in actual wars. The ones that are presumably deployed to the Middle East, where we are, in fact, at war with Iran. The kind that Hegseth is currently begging Congress for $200 billion more to keep in the air over in Iran. And two of them peeled off on a Saturday to hover at eye level over the swimming pool of Robert James Ritchie, aka Kid Rock, aka the man who wrote Ba Witta Ba, whatever the hell that is, aka America's greatest living cultural appropriator. Thankfully, the Army is now opening an investigation, which means even the Army is wondering what the hell those helicopters were doing with Kid Rock. And I want to think about the guy that received this honor of having two military aircraft that cost over $5,000 an hour to fly. That's on top of that overall cost of $30 to $50 million each to build, to fly over Kid effing Rock. And again, who is Kid Rock? He's the guy who grew up in a suburb of Detroit, which is as Michigan as it gets. And then he's had this career that can only be described as, what if a white guy from the Midwest wanted to be, in sequence, a hip-hop artist, a metal artist, a country artist, a Southern rock artist, all while never being from any of those places, never being convincingly part of any of those cultures. But he had just enough confidence that he just kept going anyway. I mean, this guy, Kid Rock, is cultural appropriation personified. He's appropriated black hip-hop, Appalachian country, Southern rock, and this general Confederate aesthetic while being, and I cannot stress this enough, from Michigan. And he looks like what would happen if Gollum decided to embrace the Confederacy. And he's hissing at liberalism from his replica White House. And yes, he calls his house the Southern White House. Again, he's from Detroit. Detroit is further north than Toronto. This is the guy who also headlined that awful Turning Point USA alternative halftime show. And it was so memorably bad that the lip sync wasn't only visible, even that was out of sync. He was mouthing words that had already happened, and he was off by enough beats that the broadcast team didn't know whether to cut away or keep watching. It was like watching someone try to drink from a glass that they'd already sat down on a table and walked away from. And then, of course, you had the Bud Light thing, the thing where Dylan Mulvaney posted an Instagram with a Bud Light, and conservatives said they were never drinking that beer again. Kid Rock got out there and filmed himself shooting cases of Bud Light with what appeared to be an automatic weapon. And we know that his concert tour this summer has the lowest ticket sales of his career. Couldn't happen to a better guy. He's got multiple acts dropping off of his lineup because, as it turns out, the people who've agreed with him have already seen him live, and they're not that impressed. His team keeps blaming Ticketmaster and Live Nation and wokeness. Meanwhile, he's out there with RFK making workout videos where Kid Rock and RFK Jr. filmed a government-produced public service announcement that they called Secretary Kennedy and Kid Rock's Rock Out Workout, posted to Kennedy's official government account and reposted by the Department of Health and Human Services, which showed the two of them working out together in slow motion at Kid Rock's Nashville compound while wearing jeans. They worked out in jeans. They were doing pull-ups and whatever else they were doing in full denim. Full denim like the Top Gun volleyball scene, that type of denim, except no one's rewinding the Kid Rock RFK video to watch over and over and over again. And again, this is the person that the Army apparently dispatched 2 very expensive Apache helicopters to honor in some way on a Saturday. This is Michigan's Confederate Smeagol. All while we're in the middle of an illegal war that we can't afford, while American service members have paid the ultimate sacrifice in Iran. And by the way, all of that's going on in Iran has led to the lowest Trump approval rating yet. 33% according to UMass Amherst polls. 62% of Americans disapprove of him, but the important part is 29% approval of the Iranian war. Gee, I wonder why that is. Could it be that this is the administration that pulls crap like this, where somewhere in Nashville, a helicopter pilot has to explain to an Army investigator why they flew to Kid Rock's house instead of doing their actual job? What a joke.
They called it closed, filed away, forgotten. But some truths don't stay buried. Time doesn't erase guilt. A reckoning is always just around the corner. A death in Arcadia. Justice has a long memory.